Welcome to JK Next Garage. Finally back out in the garage after a nice cold winter, and finally got this lower cowl put in there. We'll go over some of the issues I ran into with that, nothing too major, and some tips that I got from some other YouTubers out there. So stay tuned. Okay, so got the lower cowl all clamped down, ready to go. I've got it in place according to the measurements I took from the previous videos. Remember, I've got my measurement from here to these holes, and then from up there to the center hole of that bracket in the center there. We'll get this all prepped up and get that hole filled, and we'll prep the inner cowl here and these pieces here, and I'll get it screwed down, and then we'll put. All right, so there we go. We've got about 4 screws in each side just to hold it in place, and so I can line it up again after I get this all prepped. So, all right, just a little update on how I got this all prepped. This is going to go up against the cowl shoulders here, so I got it prepped. I'm going to clean it up and get some weld through primer on there. If this is your first time taking some of this EDP coating off of there, I mean, you can grind it off of there with a grinding wheel or something. I don't want to take any of the metal off, so this is what I used here. Is I just used some wire wheels. So these small ones are good. They're stiff. They take the EDP coating right off of there. And I use this bigger one because it's got more, I don't know, I guess bristles, longer bristles on it. So I use this one to get into like these little spots right in here. I can just bear down and put some pressure on it, and it gets those nooks and crannies really good. So like I said, one of the other things is when these bristles start getting where they're from going one way, they start angling back. Put the drill in reverse and start going the other way, and it'll dig right in and start taking more stuff off. So hopefully that helps. We'll get this weld through primered and ready to go. Okay, so lower cowls all weld through primered and everything, along with this. So that's all good. Both sides are all good. So after I get done grinding that down, or to get the paint off and get it cleaned down to bare metal as best as possible, I like to just clean it up with some alcohol. I just use these white rags I get at Harbor Freight, and I don't know, maybe it's overkill. Maybe you don't need to after you get done taking all that EDP coating off or the paint, or stuff like that. But I like to do it because it seems like the paint seems to stick better. I had a little issue with my weld through primer there, but anyways, that's the stuff I use right there. Jonathan at Vinyl Village Garage, I got that off of his YouTube channel. Figured if he can use it and he does really good with it, I'll use it too. So all right, let's get this put on the back on the car. So punching these holes, as you can see, I'm doing 1/4 inch holes because that's what I'm going to be able to drill these ones that the self tappers go into, and that's the Vinyl Village Garage method right there. So the rest of these I punched out to 1/4 inch for right now. I'm still learning VVG way of welding, so I'm just punching these holes for right now. And here's what I use is I bought this on eBay. It's a Roper Whitney. It's basically a punch. So it comes with all these different sizes. I don't know if you can see the different sizes in here, and I've got the 1/4 inch right now, and I'll show you how this works. So pretty simple. I just mark out my holes where I want to punch them, and I'm kind of going by what the old cowl had for punched holes. So basically, this thing is pretty slick. I just put that over I line up my hole, and then I wanted something for punching holes that wouldn't leave a burr on the bottom side or the top side. So that's what I use. So I got all my holes punched pretty much like they did on the old one. As you can see, the old one, boy, I tell you, that spot weld there, spot weld there. This one barely even caught. These are fine. These aren't spot welds. I thought they were, but they're not. They put a couple close together, so, and then it's just a random bunch of, yeah, I don't know. But hey, whatever, right? It worked. It was on there. It was solid. As you can see here, some of these were not even on there. So these are close together. Nothing here, you know. And then I don't know. I can probably show you in the car. Like you can tell where the spot welds were, which is fine. Like over here on this side, like there was one of those, like right here, I think it is, and here that were, it was half the spot weld was basically off of the metal right there. So anyways, I can always add more if I need it. We'll see how this goes. So let's get it put on there and get her welded up. Okay, as I like to say, I've got her all screwed up again. And let's hope not. Anyway, so now before I go to weld this, I'm going to do a little something to these holes here that Louis from First Generation Garage told me about, and that is I am going to take a Q-tip, dip it into some alcohol, and get it in there, twist it around to clean out that weld through primer. All right, so I'm going to show you the Q-tip method. What I got here is I got a little thing with just a little bit of alcohol in it, and I'm going to dip my Q-tip in there, a little Q-tip on the end, and then I'm going to do this one right here. So I'm just going to swirl it around, and I'll just flip it around and dry it up a little bit. I'll zoom in and maybe you can see that. So you can see I took the weld through primer off of there inside the hole, so hopefully it'll weld better. It has so far, so I'm going to stick with that method. It takes a little bit longer, but it doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. So that's what I'm doing. So hopefully that little tip helps you too. Thanks, Louis. So there, I got them all done. You know, all in all, that took me like a minute to just do those. Now, one thing I will say is I dab that Q-tip in there, and then I in the alcohol, and then I dab each hole so that alcohol will start penetrating that weld through primer, and then I come back and scrub it out and then take a dry one and just roll it in there too. So like I said, that took me to do all of them, took me less than a minute probably. So really, for the time it takes, I think it helps with the weld. So you do what you want with that, but that's just a little tip there. I'm not going to sugarcoat it for you. You know, I've never welded before. You've heard me say that before on videos, and I'll show you. I've got some bad ones. That boogered up mess. That one's not too bad. You know, it's not easy, and you can practice all you want, but actually welding on the car is a little different story. For all you first timers out there, maybe the most intimidating part for me is the welding as it is, but you know, the more you do it, the better you get. This side, yeah, I've got some boogered up ones there, but like these here, this one, this one, this one's not too bad. These, uh, this was was the VVG way of doing it with the tech screws, and I thought I was going to have a problem with that because I wasn't doing real good on my practice pieces. But I'll tell you what, those seem to have come out a lot better than just doing the regular plug welding. All this is going to do is take a little more grinding and cleaning them up a little bit, but we're moving forward. Okay, so I had that little hole to fill right here, and how I filled it was, I don't know if you can see, but I put a copper backing in the hole, and then I could fill it just like a plug weld because it doesn't stick to that copper. I'll come around here and show you the piece I used. This was a scrap piece that I got from a guy at work that he'd taken it out of a, I don't know, electrical panel. So I just clamped it on there, filled the hole for that weld there to fill that hole. I'm not filling this one in. That one I need, or that's the same one that was in the old cowl. Whoops. So I just did that for demonstration purposes. So as you can see, I filled this hole, which not happy with how the welds came out, but oh well, that's what they make grinders for. All right, so I got to video the grinding of the welds, my boogered up welds that I did. So all in all, it didn't take me long to grind these down either, these welds that I messed up, which I was thankful that didn't take very long. All right, so got these holes patched up, as you can see. So I'm gonna, these are all kind of inconspicuous on where they are, I am going to practice a little body filler in here just to fill in, I don't know, the shadow's in the way, fill in some of that where I welded it and ground it down. So right now I've got it scuffed up with 80 grit right now, and I am going to try some of this all metal stuff, see how that works. So here we go. That's what the stuff spread on there. Here, some spread on there, just waiting for it to be able to sand, and we'll come back then. Yeah, it must have been some low spots in there. Can't hardly feel anything right now though. All right, so that takes care of my holes that I filled in here. They turned out pretty good. I just put some primer on it for right now. I don't know if you can see that one on the inside. No? That's good, right? So, yeah. So that's about it for the lower cowl install. Still got to, I want to epoxy this lower cowl because I believe this is probably where most of my water is going to get in if I get caught out in the rain or something. This will not see winters or rainstorms. I'm not driving out in the rain, but if I get caught, oh well. So I want to get some epoxy on this. So I'm going to scuff this all up and mask off the weld through primer for the upper cowl. Get this all scuffed up, epoxied, and then I'm going to do the underside of the upper cowl also. It's just a little cold out right now for that, so that's why I haven't done that yet. It's supposed to be warmer this week, and hopefully I can get that together. This lower cowl here is a big win for me. Never done this before. This is the first major piece of reproduction panel install for me. And boy, I was out here though all January and February taking measurements, lining it up, making sure everything was back where it needed to be, and tweaking it a little bit here and there. So if you're a first timer doing this, I like to show a lot of detail because this is stuff that really would have helped me in a video if I'd have known this, even though I take a lot of my knowledge from Louis at First Generation Garage, John at Vinyl Village Garage, and I kind of adapt my skill level to their processes. So yeah, it takes me a while, but if I can do it, I'm sure anybody else out there who is a first timer doing this can do it as well, you know. So do your own thing. So I'm going to get this all prepped and epoxied and get that upper cowl all prepped and epoxied, and that'll be the next step, getting that on here. So hopefully this will help you if you're a first timer getting through. Hopefully some of my tips helped you, some of my problems helped you know what not to do. So I appreciate everybody coming along, and if you haven't subscribed, think about subscribing. Thanks for stopping by, and we'll see you on the next one.